So let's talk real quick about Gretchen Whitmer, the Michigan governor's recent extension to May 15th. She presumes to be doing this upon the authority of Public Act 302, a 1945 act. However, in 1976, there was an act, Public Act 390, which specifically said that the legislature must allow her, or actually it needs to approve any extension of an emergency declaration. To be able to operate under the 1945 Act is to completely ignore the fact that the 1976 Public Act 390 exists whatsoever. So are we at a point where our governor, Gretchen Whitmer, can ignore the law? One has to assume that when the Act 390, Public Act 390 was passed, and the restriction on the governor, which basically said that she must have the legislative authority granted to her to continue with the emergency declaration, that it overrides, it supersedes the 1945 Act. Now, let's look at this logically. If it did not, what was it supposed to accomplish? Clearly, it had an intended result. And that result was to give authority for continued action to the legislature, as it's supposed to be. Because ultimately, the emergency declarations and the rules that allow her to do what she does, that emergency declaration exists only to allow her legislative authority under the Act so that she can basically get things going. So in times of a crisis, there isn't a lot of deliberation going on, and the executive can actually make decisions that are important to the state. It does not grant her unilateral authority to continue it. It puts limits on it. Gretchen Whitmer is operating outside of the bounds of the law. As far as I'm concerned, if you own a business in Michigan, you go do your thing. You open your doors, you make your cars, you cut your hair, you do your nails. I don't care what type of business it is. It's all necessary. It's all essential. As of the 1st, unless the legislature specifically gives her authority, as of the 1st of May, the emergency order is done. She has no authority to put it forward, and anybody that says she does is lying to you. Okay? Now, when this is all said and done, there will probably be a number of lawsuits. I guarantee there will be lawsuits. And I hope that every single one of them puts her in the light that she deserves. She's a tyrant, and she's power drunk, and she needs to be removed. Period. It's that simple. Anyhow, think about that. 76 supersedes 45, and it's just the way that it is. Gretchen Whitmer has no authority. I don't recognize her authority, and neither should anybody else in the state. Thank you.
Fascinating.